Hi, this is Lynne-Marie with a video tutorial on how to assemble the Flutter Printable project available in my shop at the Lilypad. I started this project by creating this first prototype. It's a rough version to see the layout and feel. From there, I made a few adjustments for the final booklet, especially around the spine and thickness. On your printout, you'll see these lightly inked guidelines to show where to make your spine folds. Here and here on the flap. And on the fold out, here, here, and down here. So you'll notice that they're double lined. And so we're going to take this first piece. It is the body of the booklet. Once it's cut out and inked and all ready to go, find your flap. Same idea. We're going to cut it out, ink the edges, ink if you want. And we're going to glue it on to the left side, making sure to clear the spine. So line it up top and bottom. And make sure that that is nice and tight up to the edges. All right, so we're going to move that aside now and take our fold out piece. And you can see the inked edges that I've already prepared and how they're folded in double lines parallel to create spines. So this piece here is the signature. I printed the cover on cardstock and the inside is printed on thinner paper to create the inner pages. And so I just inked those up and folded them in half. And we're gonna fit those inside the cover. Make sure it's all nice and clean. Then find the center. And I'm going to sew these into my spine. First, piercing some holes in the center and at equal distance on each side. My holes are already pierced here, as you can see. So this is to demonstrate. And I've already pierced the holes in the spine. So you're just gonna line those up. Make sure you have the same distance on each side. And then pierce through your holes that you already made in your spine, in your signature. Then go through the spine, middle, top, and the bottom. And to be sure that you don't move around, you can clip these together. Mine are already done, so. Next, we're gonna take this thread. It's a waxed thread, waxed Brazilian cord. I got these at Micheal's, but if you don't have access to these, just take any string and a candle, and then you can just rub your string through the candle and wax it up, and you'll get the same effect. So that makes your string a little bit more sturdy and less prone to rip through your papers. Okay, so we're going to take our needle, find your center, and then go through the middle of your signature first from the inside and hold that end with your thumb. Then find the middle of your spine, go through that hole. Then back in through your top hole from the spine into your signature. And don't worry about these cords being a little loose right now. It's all going to get tightened up. There we go. In through the signature. Okay, and then we're going to move down to the bottom hole through the signature, then back out through the spine. And to finish it all up, we go back through the hole that we started in, but from the spine into the signature, so that we have both ends together in the same spot, and we're just going to tie those together to finish it off. So there we go. We don't need our needle anymore, so you can pull that out. Make sure that your thread is on each side of that center piece, like so. Tighten it up, and the waxed thread really makes this easy to tighten up and it stays in place. So I just tie a simple little knot. You don't even have to double it. It's going to hold. And then cut off your excess. There, that's done. I chose to do this before gluing on this flap just because it's easier to handle. Now we're going to put glue on this flap here and glue it onto our body on the right side. Again, you want to clear that spine. It's a little more bulky to glue it on, but if you line it up properly and manipulate it enough, it'll work. So I'm just going to spread this out using my finger. There we go. All right. And you might want to pick it up to line it up properly, to make sure that you've got it really well lined up, because this is essential for the structure of your booklet. Okay, right up to that edge, top and bottom. There, that looks beautiful. Now we have the structure done. So the signature's in, and these flaps here that are on each side, we're going to cover them up with some pockets because they don't look too good, right? So these are going to be covered up. On the left side, I have these deep pockets that are going to cover up that flap. The pink one is the deeper one, and then the smaller one on top. And on the right side, I have these diagonal pockets, one on top of each other, mirroring the same idea, making sure to clear that spine. All right. So simple enough. When we put the glue on, you make sure to put it on 3 sides and clear the opening. And you want to put the least amount of glue as possible. This glue that I'm using holds very strong, so you really don't need a lot. And I love the very narrow spout because I can get it into a tight space like that. So there we go. See, it's really not much. Clear the spine. And there we have it. First pocket done. Next, we'll do this small one, same idea, just on the 3 sides. The more glue you put on, the more it'll spread, and then the more that opening is going to close, and you won't be able to fit. You might have struggle a little bit to fit some of your tags in. So you want to really get as close to the edge as you can with the least amount of glue as possible. So right on top of that pink one, so we've got a layered pocket. There. And I love how that flower kind of repeats. All right, now we're going to do the other side. And on this side, we only need to put glue on 2 edges. So the edges that meet at that right angle. There we go. That covers that ugly flap. We can't see it anymore. Make sure to clear the spine. And then we do the other pocket on top, the 2 edges where the right angle meets. Notice that I've got a pretty paper on the back of these pockets because I printed them double-sided because I like having a pattern on the back of my tags, but you don't have to do that. It is a little bit of a waste of ink, but I think I just like it, and it's up to you. So we're just going to make sure that this is nicely glued down. And next thing to do is start decorating the flap, this fold out. So let's take a look at what it'll look like when it's all together. Swipe up that glue. All right, so yes, we've got these flaps that fold down like so, and then it folds over. You've got a little bit of journaling right here, and then it folds over again, and this is going to be your cover. Notice how the spines work well to make that thickness that we need. All right, now we're going to open it back up and start decorating the flaps. Here, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to follow what I'm doing, but I think I'm going to use this ticket here and make a pocket with it and use this heart as a closure. Oh, wait a second. Not, it's on this flap, right? Because I want to use the flap as a closure for the top flap, just like that. So it slips right underneath and keeps it closed. There. Okay, so let's take this ticket, make sure we've got it in the right direction so that the writing is in the right direction. Perfect. And we're going to put glue on the 3 sides, just like we did for the pockets, so that there's an opening at the top and you can slip something in there. Again, a thin line of glue as close to the edge as possible, and then position it visually centered as much as you can. All right, that looks good. Perfect. Okay, now for the heart, we want it not too high, just enough to hold that top flap in. And again, you don't have to do this. This is just an idea that I had. You could use anything to close it, some Velcro, whatever. But I'm just going to put glue at the bottom part of this heart and keep the top part free so that I can fit that paper, that flap underneath. Okay, make sure I've got it in the right spot. There, that looks good. Okay, so the top part here, I decided to just make a belly band, and I used a scrap of paper from stuff that I cut out. See, it's got the some writing there that we don't need. So instead of throwing it away, I hate throwing papers away. So I'm just going to glue it down here and use it as a belly band so I can slip something underneath. And I'm saving my pockets that are part of this printout for inside the signature. So you just put some glue on each end. And there, I'm going to let that dry. Come back to it to slip something underneath. All right. So I'll do the same thing on the inside. I just kind of want to mirror that idea. So I have a few other scraps of paper that I inked up, and I'm going to make 2 more belly bands here. Again, just a little dab of glue on each end. That's enough to hold it in place. Give it time to dry. And now we're going to do a little bit of decorating on the inside of the signature. So I'm just going to quickly go through this and do most of it off camera. But just there's pockets here that you could glue in and throw in some tabs, some tags. Just like that. And then you can just start slipping your tags into these belly bands. Add a little heart to decorate. Just a little line of glue is enough to hold it in place. And you can add some word art. There, that looks really pretty. All right, so see how this heart holds it in place, holds the flap down, and then that tag can also slip in and lock it. So that's a kind of a neat little mechanism. So a little bit more word art. All right, so I'm going to start putting some tags in the center part. There, that looks nice. And I really like this leaf, and I went and embossed it a little bit to look more like a real leaf. And you can add any kind of embellishment that your heart pleases, or that pleases your heart, that makes your heart flutter. All right, that looks good. All right, you got to make sure that you clear that spine with your tags. All right, now let's move to the cover. See how thick it is? It really thickens up quickly. So it's a good thing we've got that spine. Now, to keep it closed, I'm going to use the same trick as I did with the heart and use this pretty little lady on a belly band to make a closure. So this is part of the kit. It's a belly band that you could use wherever you want, but it fits really nicely here. Again, we put just a dab of glue at the top and bottom, and I'm going to use that embellishment to create a closure so that the flap will just slip right underneath. And there we go. And you don't need much glue for this closure. Again, the glue that I'm using is super strong. Nothing is going to come apart. I can link in the description. And I'm just going to add this little banner. I think it makes it look a bit more complete. So just slide that up while the glue is still wet. And I've got a pretty little piece of script paper with some fabric. And that looks really nice. All right, and now for the back, you can leave it as is, or I just took another piece of scrap and made another belly band. I'm really into belly bands with this one. And slipped another pretty piece of paper underneath. And there we go. So this is the final look. Opens up the journaling, and then our flap to reveal the signature that has pockets in it, and you can embellish more. There we go. Another pocket at the very back. And let's close it all up. And voila, there is the final product. Thanks. I hope you enjoy it.